Hello and welcome to Inside Iraq. I'm Jassim Azawi. During the last century, Iraqi women secured many social and legal rights in secular Iraq. They often excelled in comparison to other women in the Arab world. Today, however, they bear the brunt of the violence in Iraq as they struggle against poverty, gender discrimination, and direct targeting. Despite the establishment of democratic institutions in Iraq and promises of real emancipation, Iraqi women find themselves marginalized from the corridors of power. So amid the violence, how can Iraqi women gain their rights as Iraq struggles to balance modernity with religion? Nicole Johnston reports.
There's a terrifying new trend in Iraq, and it's difficult to stop: female suicide bombers. This week, 3 women attacked Shia pilgrims in Baghdad, killing more than 30 people and injuring 100. The impact is psychological as well. It makes Iraqis feel even more insecure, knowing that women may be carrying bombs. But the United Nations says across Iraq, women are being attacked. A recent investigation found 133 women were killed in Basra last year. 79 of them were killed by gangs for working outside the home or wearing trousers and makeup. And another 49 women were killed by their family and friends in crimes against honour. Violence against women is often blamed on Islamic groups and militia gangs. But some activists say this hides another problem in Iraq, which is politics.
These women who are in the parliament, they are handpicked by the US and UK government to fulfill their so-called 25% quota, and they just keep on telling people that women in Iraq are free and now they have representatives. But actually those women who are in the parliament, they are unknown.
Iraq's female activists have already fought one political battle. They campaigned against proposed legislation to transfer family law issues from the civil court to the religious courts. They won this campaign, but say they still have a long way to go.
Women have fallen victims. Really, they are the first victims of this ongoing occupation in Iraq. You have various religious organizations who are using the occupation to terrorize women, to veil them, to prevent them from going to work, from going to universities. And in other words, women have been enslaved in their own homes.
Despite the violence, some Iraqi women say, in Baghdad at least, life goes on and safety is improving.
You physically feel safe. This is the most important thing. So you can go, you feel that you are more safer than before. You can go for shopping, going out to markets, staying outside and at nights maybe sometimes.
Iraq's women have endured wars, sanctions and occupation. But for many, their greatest threat is now closer to home. As different sects try to control the shape of the new Iraq, it appears women have been caught in the middle. Nicole Johnston for Inside Iraq.
To discuss the plight of Iraqi women and potential remedies, I'm delighted to welcome from Baghdad Nermeen Uthman, Minister of Environment, and from London, Iraqi author and journalist Haifa Zangana. Welcome to Inside Iraq. Haifa, let me start with you, and let me start by asking you about the female suicide bombers. Why are they doing it? Are these misguided women? Are they being brainwashed by Al-Qaeda? Are they desperate women? Give me your perspective. Why are they doing it?
Well, to start with, I've been following the suicide bombers, female suicide bombers, for the last 4 years. And I've noticed, I can conclude that it's very difficult to confirm that there are suicide bombers, female ones, and because usually we are relying on the statements either by the military US statements who immediately say, well, there are female suicide bombers, or the Iraqi authority who are, and both are not very reliable. Their credibility is almost nil. Second, it happens to be that 10% of the US Army are females soldiers who are practicing the killing of Iraqi people on almost a daily scale. So, I mean, no wonder the aggravation and the terrible mess they created in Iraq that could be faced by women resisting the occupation. That does not mean I am saying that I really condone this, but
I understand that, but you are casting doubt about the authenticity of the reports and the assessment of the Iraqi and the American.
I do.
Let me get since we have a minister, since we have a minister from the Iraqi cabinet, Nermeen Uthman. Haifa Zengana says
yes.
What you hear in the news is just a pack of lies.
I have some other reasons. It's not only what she said. Yeah, there's so many other reasons in Iraq which is being involved, women involved in such kind of criminality, and they bomb themselves. Like 68 women being involved, 30 children being involved. It's some statistic being done and accounted by Interior Ministry. Those women, they depressed, as you mentioned, and there is extremists behind. Some of them being family being killed, and some of them needed money, some others widows. So they involved. We must say that there's a problem, and you know that they can be not being checked very well. They're using women because they as extremist people, they could not succeed as a political side, and with bombing car, with
is it possible also
bomb,
that religious parties are using them?
Women and children.
Is it possible that this suddenly religion descending on Iraq, everywhere you see this religious rhetoric, somehow is engulfing and galvanizing not only these women but the entire society for the sake of some religious parties?
Yeah, yes, they washing brain for them. They show them that they go to heaven if they kill themselves, if they keep killing another people. Because of that, and sometimes it's revenge. They want to revenge for the family. Women are involved, and if you see 14 women,
if I can interrupt,
between 19 women,
think,
only in Diyala they kill themselves.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I don't think there is really. I don't think there is a need to brainwash people to fight the occupation. To fight the occupation is, and I'm talking about the resistance of the occupation, and women taking part
so it's
in
not
that.
Occupation.
Yeah,
believe me, it's not for
occupation. It is occupation.
They
when you have
people, they kill innocent people.
No. When you have 70% of the attacks are on the occupying forces, and we don't know for sure who is responsible of the car bombs, which could be done by remote control, and the accessibility of that more available to the occupying forces than ordinary Iraqis. So we have to start and question who are the people behind these before we jump to the conclusion about misinformation.
Yeah, how many you can see how many Iraqi people being killed because of the bombing or because of suicide bomb. How many troops being killed, or how many armies, U.S. Army or another troops being killed. All of them innocent people, and children and women and old people. That's not against occupation.
By the Pentagon, if you check the Brookings Institution's reports, and this is an ally of the Pentagon, you'll see that over 70% of the attacks are targeted against the occupying forces. This is the truth. The second reasons for the killing of women, children, and innocent people are the militias who've been enforced by the occupation, who are part of the what's called Iraqi government.
Let me stop you both here for just a second, Haifa and Nermeen. Let me stop you both of you here.
Yes.
Let us just add another dimension to all this. There is a rising Islamic militancy in Iraq. Nobody can deny this. Since 2003 until now, somehow Iraq all of a sudden is turning into a theocracy. And as a result of that militancy, women, they have become at the receiving end of that religious fervor. Women no longer can go out and normally dress like you are. They have to be veiled. Nobody can put a trousers. Makeup is almost forbidden. The universities are segregated. Or, you know, there is almost an Islamic vigilante in Baghdad and in the south. Any woman is wearing a skirt is attacked. Some of them, they're being killed on the street. My question to you is, who is responsible for this?
Who is responsible? Everyone is responsible in Iraq. It's not only the state, it's everyone, even the neighbors, even American, even Iraqis, even women themselves, even parties, everyone is responsible for that. But because it's a problem and it's a challenge, because it's a challenge, everyone is responsible.
I think there is a confusion here.
Yes,
we
please.
are mixing issues. To start with, we are not talking here about religious or Islam. What we're talking about, the powers on the ground in Iraq who are practicing abuses against all Iraqi people, including men, are sectarian powers. Those are being established outside those parties, political parties, using the sectarian divide, being established in Washington and in London in the late 90s and the beginning before the occupation, and they were in urgent need of roots inside Iraq. They don't have it. So they have to really lean on the plight of Iraqi people.
That's a wild accusation.
Regime.
Are you telling me these religious parties and the people so-called al-Muqawma or the opposition in the past, right now they are using religion for really their own purposes regardless who gets killed? Is that what you are saying?
No, I'm saying
yes,
there are religious parties and...
Narmeen, you are saying that
yes,
the parties in power right now, they are using or rather abusing religion.
It's not only the parties. It's under the religion names, so they're using such kind of actions. I can give you numbers. 14 women in Diyala, from 19 women which they suicide themselves, are from Diyala. Diyala, everyone knows, it's Al-Qaeda have very power in this area. It means that they're coming from that places. Otherwise, also some militias they are using under the name of the God. If they are going to heaven or some other reasons, so they kill themselves.
Thank you very much, Narmeen Uthman.
Is everyone responsible? Yeah. Yes.
Well, Narmeen Uthman, I'll take a short break now. When we come back, I'm going to ask Haifa Zangana, is it inevitable to compare Iraqi rights and legal issues between the old regime and this current regime? Stay with us.
Present-day Iraq is plagued by insecurity, a lack of infrastructure, and controversial leadership, transforming the situation for women from one of relative autonomy and security before the war into a national crisis. Women for Women's 2008 Iraq report.